And guys, this is uh, most of you have seen this. So this is an image of our operating system. That is our shell. So that is something which we need to understand. So anyone has any idea about the shell and the operating system architecture? Yeah, good morning, Pawan. So anyone having any idea about the kernel and the operating system architecture? Anyone? Yeah, good morning, Ahalya. And again, you guys have studied about um the GUI of Windows earlier, and then we came up with other things. So, can anyone tell me what is the exact usage of an operating system? What exactly does operating system do? Good morning, Ganga. So what we did was we started with the shell, yeah, the commands, but did not discuss the like a few things before that, which we should have done. So the first thing that we needed to understand is the architecture of. Yep, good morning, Srijita. So we need to understand the operations and the working of uh, an operating system and what it exactly does. If anyone, any idea? It helps to communicate user input to and hardware to software. Yep, we almost to the point. That is what we have. Fine. So let me come up with another page and let me draw. My drawing is not good, but it's still. So if someone has said something. Kernel directly interact with the hardware. Correct. So in case we talk about we need an operating system to run any hardware. So we discussed about the different kinds of operating systems, and we talked again and again about something called real-time operating system, where I told you that real-time operating systems, they are very small in size, and they are made for one particular function. They cannot be used for a lot of functions. They won't be doing a lot of things. They would be doing only one particular function. So, and that particular function is to make my hardware work. So the main purpose of any operating system is to make the hardware work, and hardware takes the central position since uh, like whatever hardware, we are not talking about our motherboard, but everything, the peripherals, uh, and everything, the hard disk, the processor, to make everything work. So that is my operating system. So the basic building block is my hardware. The first layer that we might be having is my kernel. So we might be talking about all these things. In case this was not discussed by Hari, so we can discuss this now. So we have this kernel, and above this kernel we would be having a shell. Shell, and this shell would be interacting with the applications, with the user applications, and these applications in turn would be interacting with the users. So we can have multiple users. Let us go only for user one. So this is a normal uh, this is a normal architecture of any operating system. So we have this user who is interacting with an application. That application can be anything. That application can be my Facebook, WhatsApp, or anything. That might be Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, whatever. So these applications somehow need to make the hardware work. So how do they do? They interact with the shell, and the shell is provided with a few commands to carry out those particular functions, making the hardware work. And these shells in turn talk to the terminal, interact with the kernel. And this kernel transforms those commands into uh, those kinds of signals which the hardware can understand. And finally, these signals are being provided to hardware and to make them work. Now, suppose I want to listen to music. So what I do is I interact with an application, and I try to run a song. So this application is bound to do that. What it does is it interacts with the shell. It provides it with those commands to run a particular hardware, that is my hard disk, and a peripheral device, that is my sound system or speaker. In turn, this shell, what it does is those instructions, those commands, yeah, those instructions are being provided to the kernel, that you have to make this hardware run these two particular things, uh, the hard disk and the sound system. This in turn creates signals that might be current, and that current is provided to the hardware, to the uh, yeah, the hard disk, the speakers, and those current and those signals will make them work. So this is how this is the architecture of a hard disk, sorry, of an operating system. So I believe most of you already know this, but if still anyone has any question, just let me know. This was discussed previously. Like, was this yeah, the architecture of an operating system discussed previously or not? One more thing. Now, in case anyone wants, we yeah, we define the operating system. So, operating system. How would you define an operating system? Someone said anything? Like some of you said a few things. Kernel directly interacts. Correct. Very good. To communicate. Yeah. User input. So that is how do you define an operating system? What under yeah, how would you? So in case you ask me, I would say that this is an interface between the user, interface between the user and the hardware or the computer. I believe you guys understand what interface is. Can anyone tell me what do you understand by interface? Some of you might be saying so, like it is not hard only hardware; it should be software also. So I might agree, and I will let you know. Communicate. Yep, communicate. Uh, Now, for those who face any problem in understanding this interface, I give an example. Like suppose we have a fan in our home, and I want to communicate with it. Like I want to switch you on, or I want to switch you off, or I want to increase the speed or decrease the speed. So I am using an interface to communicate with this machine, and that interface is the switch. I can use the switch to turn it on or turn it off. So that is an interface. Normally, interfaces are used between a man and a machine. So, again, you guys have an understanding of this. So, interface. Similarly, I am trying to interact with the processor to do a certain function. I am trying to interact with the hard disk to write or read a certain file. I am trying to interact with the Wi-Fi to get connected to the internet. I am trying to interact with the sound system to for a particular function, like a sound system to play music or to record my voice or something. So basically, we are trying to work more with the hardware than the software. So like softwares are only providing you with the interface, but it is exactly the hardware that does the real function. So that is what we have for this OS and the interface. Now, any questions or any doubts with anyone? Now we need to know that different folders that might be there. Like when we talk about Windows, we would be having different kinds of files and folders that are that are already there. Um, the Windows directory that we have. Similarly, with Linux also we would be having a different kind of files and folders and uh, the structure of the directory. So this is normally the directory of uh, the Linux systems. This might, in case you are installing it on your computer, you might find different, there might be different. Uh, but for WSL, you would be getting a file folder like this. So you have this boot folder. Again, you will find not a lot of files and folders since this is just this is not a real operating system. This is just an application. So you have this MNT, the mount folder that is carrying the different folders that I have created on my hard disk. So we have the C drive. Again, this is not available to me, but I can change it. Mm, I can give myself permission. So I have these C, D, E, and F folders which are comparable to the different drives I have created. Now, in case I make one more one more drive, I will be getting one more here. So I have this WSLG that is again the folder for the drive for this WSL of separate partition and this WSLG. So these are the different partitions that I would be having. So again, then we have this root folder where we were working. Uh, Here we installed a file that was the Vim folder. That is for my VI command. Then we have the different folders that we normally have: the desktop, documents, downloads, music, picture, public templates, and videos. So that is comparable to the libraries that we have. We have the different libraries. Yeah, you have this desktop documents, download, music, pictures, videos. So this is comparable. Like a lot of things might be comparable to my Windows folders. So this is the basic architecture. Mm, A few things might differ from an original installation or the root installation, but there are the home folder. It is empty. So, like I believe there was not a lot of things to talk about again. Fine. So we need to discuss the different file types. Here too. It shows that we would be doing that. We need to have the complete installation to for that. Then again, we have this something called the CLI. I believe you guys understand that CLI stands for CLI stands for anyone? Command line interface. So Command line interface. So we discussed a few mm, of the uh, few of the commands that we have. So let us go for the few commands that are remaining. Yep, command line interface, correct. So we left on with a few of the commands. So let us get going. Mm, So uh, display. We worked with this cat file. Yeah, yeah, with this cat command. I believe you guys can remember the cat command. So let us try the others that are more less. So let me check on. Let me move into this NSTI folder and let me check on ls. So we have a few files here. So let me try this more command with abc.txt. So in abc.txt, we had this many. This won't be showing you the in new.txt. We wrote a lot of things. So, no. Go to this root folder here in nst.txt. Let me add more to it. So let me add all these things that we have here. And so fine, so that is saved. And let me close this. Uh, this file was Puja. Oh, then we have this puja.txt. So this more command will display almost the complete text, whatever is there in your file. We have another that is called less. So you see, yes, it will show you again. We might need to. Yeah, less. Let me open this CMD again. I was unable to make you understand. Mm, okay, move into this CD NSTI. So we have a command called less puja.txt. Now what happens is it will try to show you the content of the file in one single window for making you making it easier for you to read the complete contents. So this opens a new folder, a new window for you, which is only having the text that you have written. So you can see there is like mm, it has opened a new window, and you need to close this to get back to the original window. So I use Control Z to stop. In case I try this more, what happens is it is in the same window. Now you can see I have the original window, and it is showing all the text in the same window. Now let me add some more text to it. Yeah, a little more text. Fine, so let me close this. Yeah, that's it. Now let's puja.txt. So again, the same thing you can see, whatever was outside this window is not there. So what you need to do is you need to slide down, that will show you. But now wherever I want to stop, I will Control Z. But in case I use more puja.txt, what it will do is everything would be on the same page. Everything is on the same page. In case you want to go get more, again you need to go for enter, and it will paste everything on the same page. Now everything is on the same page, not a new window, but on the same window. So these are, yeah, like this is we have for more. Then we have head puja.txt. So what happens is it shows you the first few lines. Then we have the tail. It shows you the last few lines. Sorry. So the last few lines, tail. It was so. This is what we have for this. Yes, this is my head and tail. Now I believe there was nothing that was uh, yeah, that was confusing or something that you were unable to understand. We discussed this make directory, copy, move, uh, yeah, like remove, touch, the grep command, sort, WC, cut, LSL. Fine. So we have one more, that is my hidden file. So LSA, I don't have any hidden file here. So, but it shows something. Uh, or let me create a hidden file and let me hide it. So for properties, and hidden. So I have hidden this file. Let me check on with my ls command. Uh, okay. Let me copy this. Let me make it. You I believe this functionality is not available for WSL. So and then let us try to go for LSA. It will show all the files, be it hidden or be it available. So you can find something that is in the form of dot dots, which we are not having when we are asking for LSN. So you have the different files, but you don't have those listing on files. No, let me. So the hidden files, I try to hide this, but this was not made available to me. Or let me try to hide this file in case I get an opportunity to do that. Mhm. No. Hiding capacities are not available to me in WSL. But anyways, in case we are we have different commands in ls. One is ls simple plain, where it will list all the documents that are there, all the files, folders, whatever you have. It will list everything. Then you have this LSL, which will give you the complete details, like what are the what are the folders that you have, what are the files you have, what is the capacity that have been provided, and where it is located, when it was created. So all the details. Then you have list all, that will list everything. The hidden files, the hidden folders, or whatever you have, it will hide everything. Yeah, it will display everything. So this is what we have for this LSA command. Then we discussed disk usage, change directory, yeah, working directory, manuals. So we discussed these. Then we went for remove directory. Uh, Again, different files. Locate, this was a command which we were unable to work. Echo, df. Then we have this tar file. Again, I was unable to work with this tar files in WSL. So what I was thinking, like, might be next week, when might be most probably after Dasera, your practic there would be some instructors at your NSTIs, who would be like working on with you with the practicals. So that would be after the Sahara, I believe, or might be after the Sahara only. So in the meanwhile, I will try to install uh, the complete operating system, Linux operating system, so that we could be able to work on all those commands which we are unable to work with in WSL. So we have the links we are unable to work with the tar files. Though we tried working with chmod, but again, those permissions I was unable to demonstrate. Now we changed chmod. We did. We were able to change it right here, but unfortunately, we were unable to check it out with the real files. So that was a problem that we found. Similarly, cho and ch group, these two commands won't be working perfectly. And in case we are able to change, we won't be able to check it out. Then we have shell scripting, which won't be when then we have this shell scripting. So we started with VI editor. We did a little. We worked a little with the nano editor. We created a new file. We modified already available files. So this is what we did. We tried working a little on the sudo and the apt commands. Then we have this bash. Bashing won't be completely allowed in WSL since I am very much comfortable with Windows and my system is not that good. So I don't keep a partition. But for some time, I might create a partition and I will certainly before you begin on with the practicals, we would be trying to demonstrate all those uh, mm, commands that we were unable to. So we have a few of these commands where you can like that would help you work. Uh, mm, yeah, that will help you with a lot of uh, things. Now again, we might go for VirtualBox, but unfortunately, VirtualBox or mm, this we have VirtualBox and Oracle's VMware. Yeah, Oracle's VirtualBox and VMware, both are very heavy applications, and they make most of the computers to get stuck. So I faced this problem with the previous batch, Allahabad batch that I was taking care of. So when we started with the physical classes, we did it right away. So not on VirtualBox, but on the real machines. So this is what I believe we should do when we have that much of power. So these are the commands which won't be working on WSL. So what I am doing is I am stopping it right here. We are done with most of the commands. A few commands are remaining. The bash scripting is remaining. Uh, so I hope you would be able to get hold of it, and you would be knowing when we start again like these commands we are left with. And in case you want, I would suggest you to make a note of it, so that whenever we start again, we do all those things. Meanwhile, let us get back to our networking part. So we'll discuss the characteristics, we discuss the features. Yeah, we discussed the features. We discussed uh, the different mm, network devices that we would be using. We discussed about servers. We discussed about the client, routers, network cards. We did already done with. So till here we were done yesterday. Now anyone is having any questions for anything that we did yesterday? This is something which we might discuss once. Now we have this LAN cable. Now I believe you guys might have seen those LAN cables. Uh, or if no one, yeah, like if someone is there who has not seen it, we might see it on. So again, in case you haven't seen it, what we can do is we can go for LAN cable. So this is normally how a LAN cable looks like. Most of us are using gray or silver color. You might find it in blue or even in yellow. So that is what a LAN cable looks like. And what makes it different from the other cables is this one, the connectors, the RJ45 connectors. This is what makes it different. And this these connectors, they are they are having four pairs, and these four pairs or uh, eight cables, like eight wires. They are share conducting or uh, transporting your data from one machine to another machine, or one device to another device. Eight wire or four pairs. These are always in pairs. Now what you do is you open all those pairs and we have that color combination. You put it in the connector, and then you have a crimping tool. You crimp it, and that will create your cable. Now you do it at both ends, and that will create the cable. You create the RJ45 cable, and you can use it. The next is we use the LAN cable to connect to the different devices first. We have those machines, the client machines, that are your computers or your laptops. So that is your client machine. Then it might connect to the switch, and that switch would be again, let us get back to all other different devices. So that would be used to connect to the server and the machines, the client machines. It might help you to connect to the hub or the switch. So hub or switch, what it does is it simply it receives the data and it sends it to the path. And this switch might in turn be connected to my router. And all these places we are mostly using those LAN cables. And we discussed about the server, client, transmission media, NIC, modems, cables, hub. So hub, this is what we were discussing yesterday. It is again something like a switch, but it is not that intelligent. Now switches can they can route it to the exact device, but hub cannot. So what happens is the same device, straight cable for different device. Yeah, correct, correct. So we will come to that at a later stage. So, like what happens is, suppose I am using this, yeah, instead of here, we are using a hub. So what happens is hub, it receives some data and it will send it, it will broadcast. So every piece of data is received by all the users, but based upon their packet addresses, this packet of data was not meant for this one, so he will refuse, and that paid packet will be lost there. This was not meant for this, so he will refuse, and that is refused, or that is lost. This accepts, since this was the physical address to which it was routed, so this will receive it. So it is like again, there is not a lot of data loss. This data loss was expected since this was not meant, so that is not making any difference. But still, that is not an intelligent device. While switch, what it does is it reads the address of the destination. And suppose this laptop was my destination, it will send this packet of data to this only, and that will accept this packet. So this is the difference between switch and hub. Then we have these routers. Whenever we are trying to connect different networks or we are trying to move out of one network, we use a router. Then we have this moving out of a network means hub is a passive device. Fine, agreed. Moving out of the network. Now this is my LAN one. This is my network two. If I want to move out of this network, like I want to access data from some other network, I would need this router. So I am on network one and I want to access data or resources from network two. I can't do it on a switch. I need to have a router. Since this router connects two different networks together. So moving out of a network, you need a router. So then we discuss the features, the various features, performance, data sharing, backup, reliability. Then we have some disadvantages. So that can be really expensive. So again, the features it is providing, the advantages it's providing, the expenses are not that difficult. So virus can spread to other computers through a computer network, but the best part is, as a network administrator, I can figure out whatever threats are there on my network. People can hack not only your computer, but the complete network. But as a system administrator, I can help that out. It encourages people to be dependent on uh, computers. So again, we already have been dependent, and we are already using computers for everything. Like we are using our mobile devices 24 into 7. So again, that is, there is security issues obviously whenever we are talking about softwares and we are talking about a network, there would be some security issues, but they can be managed. So these are the disadvantages. Again, being dependent, that is a problem with us only. Becoming dependent on a computer, and that is a problem with us. We 50 years back we didn't have computers and we were happy, and now we need a computer for everything. I you guys when you were in school, you used to make complex arithmetic calculations on paper and pen, and now even to multiply 19 square, we need to go to a computer, might be a mobile phone or calculator. So that is something which has already crept in, and that doesn't look good. So these are the disadvantages. Then we have the different kinds of networks. So let us talk about them one by one. This is what we discussed a couple of days back, but many of you were not available. So the first we have this LAN. We have, I believe, we have discussed a little about LAN previously as well. So what, according to you, is a LAN, and how do you define it? So I would call local area network. Besides, it is used to link all the computers or all the machines. Uh, yeah, yeah, in a small geographical range, might be in an office or in a hostel. So that's a small geographical range you are using to connect all the machines together. So, there are a few things that are said about about this land. That normally it should not be more than 100 meters of range. So that is what they discuss. But again, it is very difficult to identify the vastness of a network. Even big campuses are using one LAN to connect all their computer or their resources together. So that is a LAN, and you need a switch to connect all the computers together. So that is my LAN. Uh, and it again, we all know that we are using a LAN to share resources that might be data or might be hardwares. Again, we might use it for software sharing. Now, one computer has a particular. One example can be your biometric attendance. Now, again, whatever you are doing or wherever you are punching, it goes to the central computer. That is my server, and that hosts your data. And once anyone asks from the DGT, that data would be shared with them. So that is software sharing. You are decentralizing data, means for everything you don't need to go to the server or to the administrator. You can access each and every data from any of the computers connected to this network. Security would be there. Now, internet sharing. Now, suppose I will need separate internet connectivity for all the computers. Other than that, what I do is I connect all my computers to a switch, and I connect that switch to the router, and that is being connected to the internet. So that is an easier method that create a local area network first and then connect to the internet. Else, what you can do is connect everyone separately. So that would be a tedious and a very expensive task. So this is what we have for local area network. In case anyone has any question, please let me know. So that is my LAN group of internet. Yeah, in a small area, two or more PCs can form a LAN. Yeah, mostly we are using cables for the connection, but at times we might not. Yeah, we might connect wirelessly, but still now till now we are looking for cables. Short distances, obviously short distances. Local area network provides higher security, obviously, and data transfer rate can be very high. A computer lab in a school, your lab, is an example of a lab. Then we might go for resource sharing. So whatever resources you have, the printers, the scanners, the sound system, or anything that can be said to be my resource sharing. Then you have software application sharing. So a lot of softwares can be shared through this network. Easy and cheap, really easy and really cheap. Uh, though installing a LAN can be a little expensive, but normal it is. Decentralized data, so every time you don't need to go to the server to access your data. You can do it from your own computer. Now, data security, obviously, when you are implementing LAN, you would be implementing a firewall, which would be helping you with the data security. Internet sharing, so this is what we talked like connect all your computers together through a LAN. And once it is connected to LAN, you can connect it that switch to the router, and that router can provide you with the connectivity. So that is internet sharing. Now we can have a few disadvantages. So again, installation would be difficult. And I told you a few months back, I was there in Tashkent, and they asked me to set up the LAN. Uh, so we did. That was not a problem. The biggest problem we face with this LAN is setting up those wires, to make it look neat. Normally, I don't know how it is in your NSTIs. That might be good by now, but there every computer now. Suppose I have, or let me open up. I won't. Like, that might not be there. Suppose I have. Now, what happens is, let me draw. This is a switch. Suppose. Now I am connecting 12 computers. One is here, one is here, one is here. So I would be having four different, three computers in each row. So setting up a LAN is not difficult, but managing these cables, that needs a professional. So you have this cable, you have this cable, you have again this cable. So you would be having so many of cables, like you this would become a mess. So these are only the network cables. You would be having power cables as well. So this is not. So managing these many cables. Now, suppose you have 30 computers in your lab, so it becomes a huge mess. This is only the network cable. Then you would be having those power cables as well for your computers, for your monitors, for everything. Then so maintaining this is really difficult. Uh, Setting up, obviously you need this much of cable and this switch, that will cost some money. So that is high setup cost. Privacy violation, again, this now suppose someone is on my network. uh, mm, Again, when we are talking about a country like India or South Asia, then this should not be taken as a violence, uh, yeah, violation. Now, what you understand by privacy violation? Now, the term was privacy violation. What do you understand by this? Yep, guys, please. Privacy, we have two terms in here, privacy and violation. So privacy violation can be said like, suppose I am connected to a network, to whatever sites I go to, whatever data I share with the different servers, with the different websites, that data can be viewed by my network administrator. So that is called as privacy violation. Now, what I say is, like, in case you are connected to my network, so I should know what you are doing on my network. Are you doing some kind of abusive things? Are you doing anything kind of illegal things? So I need to know that. So I won't say this privacy violation is something like, in case I am working in an office, so I need to maintain the decorum. Till then, we don't have any kind of privacy issues. But the privacy issue begins when I am not doing anything wrong. I am abiding with whatever it is, but you can access each and everything. Now, the process I am using to create a solution, so that would be something. Now, suppose we can talk about a class, and to that class, I have given an assignment to write, and I have allowed them to use Google to search for those resources. So what they do is, someone goes to one website, someone goes to another website, someone goes to another website. So this is certainly acceptable as, uh, yeah, like, as a manager, that is perfectly fine. I allow that. But now what happens is, you create something from one single, from a resource, yeah, like from a resource on the internet. I know that, and now what happens is, the next time I don't tell you and I fire you from the job, and I use that resource for my, for creating that project. So this can be said to be violation, but the first stage is not a violation. So I believe that was clear to everyone. Then you can have data security threat. Now again, data security threat, uh, is obviously it is there. Now some, like, might be, your network administrator might be the one who is leaking that data, or there can be some kind of physical threat as well. Now, we talked about those cyber threats. We can have physical threats as well. Now, physical threat is something like, someone comes to my computer, to my office. He is not someone who is affiliated to my office, but he is a good friend of me. What he does is, I go to the washroom and he opens up my computer and share, like, copies all those data. So that is a physical threat that is again a problem. Now, finally, we have something called LAN maintenance job. So we might have a LAN administrator or the network administrator who is taking care of all the network related issues. The biggest problem that we would be finding is the cable disturbance. And that cable disturbance, this is really a tedious task. Now, again, connecting one computer to the server, that is not difficult. But maintaining this is really difficult. Now, what happens is, you have this row, nine people, that makes, like 10, 10, 10, 10. So three rows. Now, what happens is, someone walks in and he accidentally, like, uh, steps on and is getting, yeah, falls down. So this is the biggest trouble for a network administrator. Now, rest of the things, they are really very easy. Now, hardware failures, they are not that difficult to understand. Program faults, that is not a problem. Software installation is not a problem. The problem is the cable disturbance, and that would be the real trouble for a land maintenance person. Covers limited area again, that is not very big, so it is really easy to implement. So I believe there was nothing new with this LAN. But still, in case anyone has any question, please let me know. After this LAN, we have this MAN that is called the Metropolitan Area Network. The Metropolitan Area Network, can anyone help me know? So this is what we this is what some of you told me the previous day. Like you have different networks, and you are connecting all these networks together. So that is a metropolitan area network. Now we have multiple LANs connected together. That forms a metropolitan area network. Now suppose I have my cables like a internet service provider. Now what he does is, now like many of you must have like many of you would be having Wi-Fi connectivity at home. Now what happens is that internet service provider, whoever it is, now someone is coming up. Man network is within a city. Uh, like again, metropolitan, we might say a city, but it is better to define it as a collection of various local networks. Various local networks connected together can be said to be a man, and that it usually can be in a city. So suppose you guys are having a Wi-Fi connectivity at home. Now, what happens is those people, those uh, internet providers, what they do is they have a fiber cable installed throughout the city. And now, what happens is, suppose I have an office, so they give you a router, and you have your own network. So you connect your network or your LAN to this. So this is what they do. Now I need this network. They provide me with a router and this cable, and then I connect to this router, and this becomes my network. Another router to another network. So they provide you with routers, and you connect to this router, and you are now on a metropolitan area network. So this is what can be said. Now, those internet providers, they can be said to be a metropolitan area network since they are connecting several houses, several offices, several schools together. That is a metropolitan area network. So, any question? The basic idea is again connecting various networks together. So so this is a LAN. I have 5 computers, so that makes my LAN. That might be a wireless LAN, but that is a LAN. So various LANs connected together, that makes my. Someone has said something, that is what I was expecting. No, fine, great. So again, when we talk about this network, metropolitan area network, the speeds would certainly drop a little as compared to my LAN, since it is extending over some larger area. So data loss would be more. Uh, yeah, like a data transfer would be a little slower as compared to a LAN. Uh, Uh, Again, we understood the examples as well, so I don't think there is any uh, thing you are facing any trouble with. Now, again, one more thing that we might understand is with this man, you might connect the different offices that you have in the same city or in a nearby city. Now, suppose we are talking about a city called Mumbai. So, Mumbai has Panvel right at the outskirts. Mumbai has Thane route at the right at the outskirts. Now, suppose I have an office in Vashi, I have an office in Panvel, I have office in Thane, and I have an office in Andheri. Now what happens is I want to interconnect all these offices through our intranet. So I have my own yeah, like a private network where only where I want to share the data. So I what I do is I rope in some agency and ask them to create a network. So what they do is they are connecting Panvel, Vashi, Thane, and Andheri, and might be on some other areas as well. So these four areas are connected, and each area is like 50 kilometers from one another. So that like a huge distance, and that can be said to be a man. So even adjoining areas, when you are going out of the city and you are still connecting to the same network, that can be said to be a man. So that is what we are having. So like extend a very large area, not very large area, but yes, a large area. So this is the real thing that that we have been trying to understand. You have one network, another network, one another network, another network. So like several networks are connected together. Advantages: less expensive. Uh, like again, in case you want to connect it to the WAN or to the internet, that would be really very easy and very efficient. Now sending local emails. Now in case I am connected to my local network, yeah, to my man, again sharing data, sharing messages, sharing texts, sharing mails, that would be really very fast, and you won't need to pay anything. Now you create your own email server, and that will help. Then high speed, yeah, again, when you are talking about a smaller network, that would be faster as compared to a larger area. Sharing of internet, that would be really easy, since again, suppose I am connected to access broadband. Let me show you plus speed test. So that will show you who it is, my network provider. So it is called multi fiber, but I am paying to someone called OneNet, right? So I believe you can understand this. I am the user. My name is Nashif. My service provider is called OneNet. And this OneNet in turn is using the services of multi-fiber. So this is what you have, sharing of the internet. So what happens is Multify is one of the ISPs. Now OneNet has asked it for its services. And now what happens is this OneNet is has taken one line and it is sharing this network with a lot of people. It is like doing a business on this. So this is what is happening. A one network, yeah, one connectivity can be shared over vast resources. So sharing conversion of LAN to MAN is easy. Again, once you have LANs, you might use a router to convert it. High security, like again, when you are this was something which they didn't say. LAN is more faster and LAN is more secure when we are talking about MAN, a metropolitan area network. And when we are talking about MAN, it is faster and more secure as compared to WAN. So that is what we have. Internet speed, yeah. So there would be a little disadvantages as well. Now this is what is happening to me again and again. Now municipal corporation comes in and they like they dig up the road, and the network is gone for a lot of people, not only for me, a lot of people. Now maintaining this network is really very troublesome. Okay, like where did the fiber cut? You need to pinpoint that exact location. What was the reason for the cut? So that is something really difficult to manage and a real challenge. The internet speed difference again. Uh, Now, in case you are talking about optical fibers, then the internet speed difference won't be that much noticeable. But when we are talking about cables, now you guys understand we have something called resistance in every kind of material. Even in gold, we have gold and silver, we have some resistance, but though the resistance is less. So in case you are talking about cable, yeah, copper wire, so copper wire is having very less resistance, but yes, there is a resistance. So over time period and over a long distance, you might find a lag, and that is what it is talking about. So these wires can affect the speed. And in case you are talking about optical fibers, the speed won't be way like even noticeable. It won't be noticeable, but yes, it won't be noticeable, but there would be like a lot of cost. Hackers attack again. Uh, People on this man might try, someone on this network who is connected to your router might try to infiltrate your computer. So that is like a metropolitan area network has a lesser security as compared to a local area network. Now you need really technical staff, those who understand the different things about connectivity. So that would be a little expensive. Then you would be having network administrators and troubleshooters to set up the things. So that would be done. So and again, you would be needing more wires, more cable would be needed. It would be expensive. So that is what we have. Then we have this wide area network. We discussed about wide area network. That is the WAN. And when we are talking about WAN, it is an example can be like we discussed couple of examples that can be intranet, that can be internet as well. And you need an ISP to connect to the WAN. For LAN, you don't need an ISP. Even for MAN, in case you want to remain on one single network and you don't want to connect to the internet, you won't need an ISP. But when you are talking about WAN, you need this ISP. So that is about my WAN. Again, the same thing. You need a router to connect to a WAN. Then I believe there is nothing a lot. Again, WAN would be using a lot of MANs to connect. Internet would be one of the examples of this MAN. So situated in longer distance, yeah, that would be useful for. Yeah, again, when we are talking about WAN, uh, initial or installation would be really very expensive. It took years to reach everyone throughout the globe, and it took cost a lot of money. Maintaining the network would be again difficult. You need a lot of skilled technicians to work. Uh, Error would be more obviously whenever you are increasing on the size of your network. That would uh, making a lot of trouble. And again, when we are talking about this WAN and the internet, we can see a lot of threats. Threats are increasing as we are getting more connected. security would be of utmost priority. So that is about WAN. Then any questions till now? So WLAN would be something like a wireless LAN. You don't need cables. Now, I talked about these cables, these many cables. Now, these many cables won't be needed when you are talking about this wireless LAN. You simply need to have a wireless switch or a wireless access point to be more precise, and all the devices that can be connected need to have need to be wireless wireless systems design inside. So like in case your computer does not have those Wi-Fi adapters and Wi-Fi drivers, you won't be able to connect. So you might need laptops which have inbuilt wireless devices to connect. So like even a normal printer might not be able to connect. You will need a wireless printer to connect. So wireless devices can be connected, and that will reduce the cost of this cables. These cables won't be needed, and this trouble would be removed. Now, the system administrator or the network administrator would have a really easy job. Uh, so let us check on. Yep. You need to have a wireless access point, which will which would be connecting to all the devices. It is. Let me get back to it. Yes, it uses radio waves. Someone day before yesterday, someone said about radio waves. Obviously, we would be needing radio waves to connect. And again, the biggest problem that we would be facing is that every wireless device that we are talking about, the wireless access point, that won't have a very long range. Uh, and that would be affected by uh, the kind of boundaries you have, the kind of walls you have, the kind of rooms you have made, uh, like soundproof and using very high power or those glasses, they might hamper with the connectivity. And again, you won't be able to connect a whole hostel as we used to do in our college. Again, wireless web devices won't be able to provide you with that much of liberty. So that would be very good for a small distance, might be 5 to 8 meters. It would really do very good. But above that, the connectivity would be having a lot of checksums. So advantages, it is reliable. Like again, without physical wires, it is really flexible. Now you can move your laptop from one point to another point, not a problem. You can take that printer from one place to another, or the your sound system from one point to another, not a problem. Again, cost would be really very less. Now you don't need that many of cables. You don't just need a wireless switch, and that would be fine. uh, Adding and removing, you want to you move out of this place and you are removed automatically. You move in and you register on my network and you are already there. So again, data rate would be good, but Can anyone let me know what do you think? Which will be faster, wireless or wired? Wireless or wired, which would be having a better transmission rate, speed in case we talk about wired, obviously wired. Wired is having better speed, and wired connections are more secure as compared to their wireless uh, counterparts. Then again, for line of sight is not required. You don't need to get your wire in that direction, so that is not needed. These wireless signals, the radio signals, can move through the walls. But again, in case your walls are really very heavy and you are using a lot of things, so that might affect. Direction of connectivity can be anywhere, anywhere you can get connected. Easy installation, very easy. You don't need cables. Again, in case we are talking about a normal LAN, so whenever you want to add one more device, you will need one more cable. So that is a trouble. But with these wireless devices, you don't need to. Again, whenever you are having any problem, you can simply run away, taking your own computer is not a problem. Economical, again, it is economical since you don't need that much of wires. If there are any buildings or trees, then still wireless connection works. Obviously, it works, but it has a limited range. It can connect limited area. Government agencies can limit the signals or WLAN. Now, in case there is any problem, they might use jammers, which will not allow you to work on your WLAN. If the numbers of connected devices increase, again, whenever you are increasing the number of devices, the speed would certainly decrease. So these were the different things about my wireless LAN. So I believe there won't be any questions now. Everyone was able to understand. The next we can have virtual LANs. Now, what do you understand by virtual LANs? Yes, anyone, what do you think about virtual LANs? Fine, that is okay. Virtual LAN, we have shared something. Okay. So what do you understand? Again, you have one switch, you have another switch, and you are connecting both the switch together. Fine, that is okay. So, but what do you understand? Anyone? Any idea? Let us come to something called, let us discuss two terms which we would be coming again and again when we would be talking about networks. One is physical, another is logical. Uh, does anyone have any idea about physical and logical? Create logical group of PC. Fine, great, good. So, can anyone help me know the difference between physical and logical? Someone has said something. Physical like MAC address, fine, good. Logical like IP address, fine, good. Physical address cannot be changed. Logical address changes, fine, good. That is really good. Logical address changes, yeah, correct. Now, physical is can be said to be the exact connectivity or uh, the real topology that we might have. But logical can be said to be how it appears to the different resources, to the user, exactly the user, how it appears. Uh, uh, and that would be a little difficult for me to understand. Mm. So, for example, in case we talk about physical mm, topology of physical net, so this is what exactly a physical network will look like. But in case I talk about logical, that would be really very simple. You will find a switch and how data is transferred from switch to PC1 to PC2 to PC3. A physical network will take care of, when you are talking about physical network, so you would be taking taking into consideration the distance, the losses that would be there in that traveling over this distance, the time loss that you might find. So this is what can be the difference between physical and logical. Now, in case we talk about VLAN, so VLAN is not something which is physical, that is logical. Now, what happens is your router or your switch uh, will differentiate the different devices that are connected to it based upon the functional or security things. So based upon this, it will differentiate like this group is something, this group is something, and it will make it appear like these are different devices, or these are like again it will partition based upon, like suppose I have one network. On that one network we have four people who are accessing data, two people who are accessing the printers, two are using the sound system. So it will differentiate all of them. Like this is group one, which is only accessing data. This is group two, that is only accessing uh, this like mm, printers. This is only accessing my sound system. So that is one single network is creating some kind of logical network based upon the functional or the security requirements, and that can be said to my VLAN. I believe that was a little clear to you. Again, this can be said like you have this this device has one ID that is using it for one purpose. This is using it for one purpose. This is using it for one purpose. So everything is using like these servers are having a common like a different functionality, and based upon it we are generating different virtual networks. Different networks. We are mm, doing that based upon the functionality. So divide a single existing physical network into multiple logical networks. Now you have one physical network. You don't have many of them. You have one single network, and based upon the logical use, you are simply creating different logical networks. Thereby, VLAN forms its own broadcast domain. Fine. Communication between two different VLANs is only possible through a router. Again, when it has already created a separate channel for each and everything, so you need to move out of this network and then move to a router, then come back again, since again it has created like physical network is not something which is being understood by your routers and switches. They are creating the virtual networks, they are creating logical networks, can be constructed using switches that are independent of each other. So that is what is happening. Everywhere you are creating you are having one different switch, and each of these switches are being connected together. Switch one, switch two, switch three, they are connected together using one more switch, and this switch is catering to one single functionality. This switch is connected, working on one single functionality. This is generating one another functionality. So this is what we have for virtual LANs. Advantages, it is quite increased. Yes, someone has said something. In switch cable, logical VLAN is like one in HR department. Yes, that would be a very good example. Like based upon the functionality, you can have are different. Like again, when we are talking about resources, I talked about resources. So I was unable to imagine this, but that would be a very good example. Like the HR is using the network to for one particular resource. The accounts and sales team is using it for one particular task. So provide logical VLANs or provide logical networks to all of these batches so that they are can be more productive. allowing network administrator to apply additional security to different channels. Expansion and relocation is easy. I can move out of one switch to another switch. That is really easy. VLAN scalable. Yeah. Disadvantages can be that is equipment limitations. Like in case you are creating a very large network, then there will be a need of like really good network administrators. There would be high workload, and you need to control that workload. Latency, again, inter VLAN communication. In case you want to connect multiple VLANs, you will need to use a router. Management is complex, obviously it is. Possible problems is interoperability, so fine. Then we have virtual VPNs. Now I believe this is something which you guys have heard about, and you guys must be thinking of it again and again. So, what according to you is a VPN? Anyone? Everyone has heard about a VPN, right? Now, VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. That I believe you all know. Yep, someone has said something. Virtual Private Network, really good. So, what it does is you need to have a VPN host. Let us be here. You need to have a VPN host. Uh, I believe you guys understand host. Do you guys understand the term called host? Host can be a client. Yep, host can be a client. Host might be a client. Uh, Fine, good. So you need to have a VPN host. Uh, but this VPN host needs to be a mm, remote server. Uh, mm, uh, this needs to be a remote server. Now, what it does is you are using the services of this VPN host. Now, what it does is it masks your IP. Your IP, that is your virtual address. And here the remote server comes into play. Masks it like suppose I am having this 192.168.0.2, that is my IP. But what it does is it first I open this VPN host. it connects me to this remote server which is having another IP that might be 152.236, like 152.136.2 point or 101.1. So what it does is it masks my IP from this to this and then connects to me to the public network. Uh, or we can say if someone has come up with something, we can hide our actual IP. Yes, it does hides my actual IP and it redirects all the data that I am sharing from this IP to this IP, which is being provided to me by this remote server. So it redirects my content and my data, making me almost immune to anything that is happening on this network. Since most of them they don't be able to recognize me. So it can be said to be similar to like I am putting a mask on my face. So that is my VPN. Any question, anyone? Again, this VPN host or my remote server is also virtual or logical. That makes use of a private network or a public network infrastructure to provide TK. This is achieved by like creating an encrypted terminal for secured end-to-end connectivity. That is what I have been trying to say. A virtual private network uses data encryption techniques, uh, and this doesn't have a real. This might not be a very good example. Use a device to VPN client, no VPN. This won't be that easy for me to understand. Let us let us check out with in case we can, or better let us try to figure out some video. Let us go with this video. Rest of the things I believe they were easy, but this is something more. So that is a VPN. Mm, the routing is through a virtual host, and that helps you to remain blinded to most of the devices on the internet. So that is my VPN. Again, VPN is like it offers you a lot of advantages like hiding your identity, masking your identity. Uh, again, now VPNs mostly we use to bypass. Like when I was in Tashkent, uh, Twitter was banned there, but I needed to find something on Twitter. I used to use a VPN, and that VPN would route me through an Indian server, and my location would for those who are trying to locate me, they would find that my location is currently Bombay. I can even change my location to any other. Might be in case I want to use American services, I can relocate my VPN server to America. So that is possible. So in case anyone wants to see, this is a free VPN. The problem I would be facing is might be that I could be get uh, Siphon for Windows. So that is a very small application. Uh, you might find a little glitch whenever I connect to this VPN. So I'll be having this application in my downloads folder. And now what I do is I try to connect it. Now I am connected to uh, I am connected to a VPN. So in case, let me check out Ookla. That will help me know where my server is exactly located. So let us go with a speed test with Ookla. You can see now my server has changed from multi-fi to M247. And I can even change. No, I am not even connected to India. I am connected to some server in Canada. I can change the location now. I want to suppose go for any services from UK. I can connect some website which is only available in UK. I can connect to this in UK. So see, I am connected to Montreal. That is in Canada. The speed would be relatively very slow since again I am getting rooted and a lot of things are happening. So that is let me disconnect. I hope that doesn't make any difference. So I hope you guys were able to see this. Yes, hides. So that was our VPN. Now, in case we have any questions, now you see it is Multify and it is based out in Patna. Guys, mm, In case we have any questions, VPN is like VPN. Uh, VPNs are nowadays free, but still, in case you want to be like you saw, our speed went down really very bad. Like right now, my speed is supposedly something around 50 Mbps. But when I connected to the VPN, it fell down to less than 1 Mbps. So it is right now showing 21 Mbps, but my speed normally remains to be something around 50 Mbps. So, and that is really good. Yes, 46 is my download speed, and upload speed would be something like that only. That changes times. But in case when I was connected to the VPN, it went down to almost less than 1 Mbps or 2 Mbps. So that is the problem you might be facing in case you are opting for a free VPN. Uh, in case you are going for a paid VPN, then it would be really very costly. That is what we have. Uh, Again, this would be really helpful when you are trying uh, uh, to again now what happens is that, yeah, like in case you want to buy things in India, they are really cheap, but in case the same thing in case you are trying to buy in US, that would be really very expensive. So if you mask yourself and then you go for some airline tickets or something like that, which can work anywhere and which can be delivered anywhere in the world, then it would be really very easy and that would be really very good. Again, many of us they use that TikTok and that game. What was the name of the game? Uh, PUBG. People used VPNs to go for that. So that is possible using a VPN. The VPNs will be costly. Free VPNs, they don't work very well. They don't really work very well. So like you saw the speed getting down. So that was one. And it would be really very expensive if you are having a paid system. Not all devices and operating system will support VPN. That is quite possible. Using a VPN will use on obviously online speeds would be going down. For a free service, it would be really very it will come down really very bad. But in case it is a paid one, it would be a little better. Like suppose in case I am going with a paid version, it would be BGMI. I don't know what is meant by that. So in case it is a paid one, from 50 Mbps, unpaid or free service came to around 1 Mbps. And in case I would be using some paid services, then it would be something around 10 or 12 Mbps. So that would happen. So I believe that should be enough for now. We would be going for the rest of the network connectivity, like campus area network and others, uh, in the afternoon session. But meanwhile, in case anyone has any question, just let me know.